Welcome back to another edition of Bluebonnet News Headlines and Heartlines. I'm your host, Vanesa, Brashier, owner and publisher of Bluebonnet News. Today, I am joined by Liberty County Fire Marshal Nathan Green. Green has spent nearly 40 years in public safety, serving as a volunteer firefighter, law enforcement officer, and fire marshal. Since becoming Liberty County Fire Marshal in January 2025, he's brought decades of experience to one of the county's most important public safety positions. Nathan, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for asking.
So let's start at the beginning. What you want to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Well, like you said, I started in public service, I guess, back in '85, after getting out of the Air Force and graduating high school. Back in my generation, and I know there's some generational gaps here now, but based on I am older. Every little boy growing up in my age group always wanted to ride the big red truck, played cops and robbers. And when I moved out to the Cy-Fair area, the volunteer fire station was right down the street.
We have a train going by, y'all. I'm sorry, we're at his office and there's a train going by.
Every day.
Every 8 minutes, right?
So I went over there and expressed my interest and got some details and joined up and enjoyed it and loved it. And as a volunteer, I had a full-time job just like they do now, and it blossomed from there. I never thought I would end up where I am today by simply volunteering at the fire station back in 1985 with Cy-Fair.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Spring Branch in Houston. Mom just sold the house that I grew up in a year and a half ago, when she decided she wanted to come live with me and my wife, and she, of course, open arms. So
it's hard to see that old house go, though, isn't it?
It was not easy, because we found things cleaning it out that I forgot about.
Oh,
I mean, from my little porcelain gopher from when I was on the Gophers baseball team when I was 7 years old, found it on the back of a bookshelf.
Oh, I'm glad you found it, though. I guess that's one way to find it, clean the house out.
Yeah, but downsizing her from, she first wanted an apartment. We got that, but having just to downsize and get rid of stuff, it's tough. I understand what some of these families go through when they have a family member that has to be moved out of the house that they're comfortable in because of whatever the situation is.
So, well, if we're lucky enough, we all live old enough to have to rely on our children or our family members or someone, because as you get older, it gets harder.
So, but I joined the fire department back then, and at one point lived in a subdivision, and the contract deputy with the sheriff's department and I became friends from different reasons, and wanted to go to the sheriff's academy, and was going to join and go through with the constable's office. And he said, "Hey, the sheriff's department's hiring." So he convinced me to go down and apply, got hired, got put on the waiting list, worked in the jail for about a year and a half before I went to the academy.
Is that Harris County?
Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Got out of the academy, went back to the jail, got assigned to what they called the weekend deputy position.
Uh-huh.
A lot of defendants would be sentenced to serve jail time for DWIs or minor possession of marijuana, lower grade offenses, but they would come in on Saturdays and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and serve their time on the weekend so that they could be at home during the week to work and support their families.
Yeah.
So I took that and was able to get assigned to a captain that allowed me to expand the program. And actually, when they checked in, they didn't just go to a jail cell and sit there all day. They got loaded onto a bus, and I turned them into a chain gang. So I would take them out
pick up trash and stuff?
Well, they'd pick up trash. We worked with the different county precinct camps where they'd go out and clean up county projects, mow grass, mow parks. We cleaned up, I don't know how many cemeteries with different nonprofits. Worked with, back then there was, under the mayor was a program called Clean Houston. Uh-huh. We'd go around, and that's where we cleaned up some of the cemeteries. But if they didn't have a location for us, they would give me trash bags, and I would take them out. And these were low risk. They were basically trustees at that point. They'd each get 5 to 10 bags, and they were 55-gallon trash bags, and they would walk the streets of downtown and fill them up.
But it was beautification.
It was just cleaning up the trash.
Yeah.
And it was nothing to fill up 200 trash bags a weekend. And we'd leave them on particular corners, and then the city would send by a truck, and they would load them all up and haul them off.
Yeah.
So one year we got invited to the Freedom over Houston.
Oh, yeah.
4th of
Fireworks
July.
show, yeah.
We showed up about 11 p.m. Fireworks show was at, I thought, 11:30 or whatever at the end of the night. And as the public left, I unloaded 80 of these workers, of these, they were inmates,
Yeah.
whatever. And we started at one end of the park, and within an hour they had the entire place cleaned up and bagged up in trash bags, and then we were gone in 3 hours.
Wow.
So it saves the citizens, of Houston and, Harris County. It would save them a lot of money. And it was beautification. So
I guess they still do that today. Or
I don't know if they do or not.
don't know.
I do know that
Programs like that are in place, though.
They're available.
Yeah.
They can be done.
Yeah.
But I did get a couple of awards from the city of Houston for doing those different programs with them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice to be recognized that it was apparently worthwhile. So,
Yeah.
But during that time, I was still a volunteer fireman. So at one point, we had a major incident off of Telgian 290, and several people that worked at the manufacturing facility got killed. And while I was out there as a volunteer fireman, I ran into the chief investigator with Harris County Fire Marshal's office. He found out that I was a deputy and a fireman, and they had
And had
an
Air Force
opening.
background. And yeah.
So he asked me to come in and talk to him, so I went and joined the fire marshal's office and ended up retiring from there in 2014.
After how many years?
With Harris County, a total of 27.
That's a long time.
I told you I'm old. But yes, I did. And during that time, I also retired
Yeah.
from Cyfair Fire Department, which at the time when I joined, that's not why you become a volunteer.
Yeah.
But somehow they worked out a program. So now I have a retirement from the volunteer fire department, a retirement from Harris County. When I left Harris County, went to University of Houston as assistant fire marshal and had the primary focus over the Sugar Land campus, which I didn't even know existed. And then during my 6.5 years there, we built the Katy campus from the ground up. And for about 2 years, I was over helping out at the Victoria campus. So it was nice not being a desk jockey and being able to go between the 3 different campuses and
Yeah.
get those. We built 7 buildings down there in Victoria.
Oh, my goodness.
Excuse me. So, and then I was happy there. And then I got a phone call from a headhunter one day during COVID that a small town was looking for a city fire marshal. And it's like, we just moved. I'm not moving again. No, where is it? And he didn't want to tell me. And finally, after about 30 minutes, he said it was Shenandoah. Mm-hmm. So I said, fine, I'll at least talk to him.
Were you living close by that?
Yes, it was closer to home.
Okay.
Distance-wise, but it involved I-45.
Which is never predictable.
Time-wise was not any better.
Yeah.
But talked to them, and it was a step up from assistant fire marshal to fire marshal. And
Yeah.
so I went over there and was having a good time with Shenandoah. It was about 4 years in when 2024 hit with the situation here with the Liberty County Fire Marshal's office and that whole...
So I'll just mention our fire marshal and 2 assistants, I guess, were terminated, and they have legal issues.
Proceedings.
Yeah, legal
Yes.
proceedings still going on. So, and most people know about that, and if they don't, they can go to Bluebonnet News and look it up. But
And in this, there's not that many fire marshals in the state of Texas.
yeah,
At best,
it's a small pool.
It is a small pool. It's a tight knit community. From the fire marshals to investigators, anybody who works in this industry at this level. So word spread pretty quick. Hey, did you hear what happened? So I looked into it, and I thought, I always told myself when I joined Harris County, one day I wanted to be the county fire marshal.
Yeah.
And so I threw my name in the hat. Did not expect a whole lot from that, but at least I felt good knowing that to see where I stood in the community.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I was asked to come in for an interview, and then the next thing I know, I find out from Miss Vanesa that...
Oh, yeah, I called you, didn't I?
Oh, you emailed me.
Oh, I emailed you. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm persistent.
Well, no, you emailed me at my Shenandoah work email.
Oh, jeez.
And I hadn't told Shenandoah I applied.
And you're like, can you wait a little while?
It's like, at first I actually thought it was a scam because I'd never heard of the Bluebonnet News because I wasn't real familiar.
You're not from this area.
I had been, researching Liberty County, but about 30 minutes later, I got a phone call from.
I think it happened during Commissioner's Court. That's why I called you.
And Kim Harris called me about a half hour later and said, "Hey, I wanted to let you know." I said, "Yeah, I kind of heard." She goes, "You heard what?" And I said, my first question to her was, "What is the Bluebonnet News?" And she goes, "Well, that's Vanesa." And I said, "Okay." Well, she's already emailed me, told me I got appointed. She goes, "She wasn't even in court." I said, "Okay." She goes, "Oh, she must have been watching the Zoom meeting."
Yes.
And I said, "Okay, so it's true, huh?" And of course, the conversation went from there. It's like, "Do you have any questions?" "Oh, I have so many questions."
So many questions.
But I was honored to get picked. Commissioner Arthur, from after going back and watching the video, was the one that. I'm not sure who all was on the list, on the short list, but Commissioner Arthur, made the motion, and I appreciate that. And I know that
I think I did the interview with you that day, and you said, "No, you're going to have to not post this until I let my bosses know."
Well, I hadn't told my wife. I hadn't told my boss.
That's the boss is the wife, right?
No. My boss is Shenandoah.
Yeah, no.
And I went in there, and it had been a running joke for 4 years that if she was ever mad enough at me that I would know it simply because there'd be empty boxes in my office as a hint to pack up. So when I went in to tell her that I was going to retire and turn in my 2 weeks notice, she laughed. She thought I was kidding. And it's like, no. She had to look it up on the internet and read your article.
Oh, gosh.
So it was a fun
funny.
Day.
Yeah, I'm glad I was adding to your levity that day.
And it was a week before Christmas.
Oh, that's good news then. Right before Christmas.
I was not upset.
Yeah, no. Here we go. A new challenge, new experience, new adventure.
Year, so.
Yeah, I remember that. I try to stay on top of the news, obviously.
Well, no, you do.
Obviously. I'm a one-person show, so it's hard to get everything. I mean, I get criticized sometimes because I don't cover sports, but I mean, how would I cover 6 school districts and sports for all of the different organizations?
Well, let me put it in perspective.
And the news.
Let me put my job in perspective.
Yeah.
I was a one-man show for 10 months.
Oof.
I did have a part-time, to help out some, but when it came to 24/7 availability, it was me. So,
you understand.
There were some nights that it was run from fire to fire when I first got hired on. And
so when I told you I stayed up until 2 a.m. last night writing, I wasn't kidding.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, I went. My husband came in this morning and said, "What time did you go to bed?" And I said, 2 a.m. And so he says, "What were you doing?" I said, "Working." Mm-hmm. If you've got an idea for something, you have to put it down. And
you better write it down or you'll forget exactly
you'll forget
what
it later.
Thinking.
Yeah, don't sleep on it. Sometimes it'll get, and then sometimes just doing something that you're led to do or driven to do.
Well, you write it down and then go sleep on it and come back and clean it up.
That was that religious piece that I did. And it was on my heart. It's been on my heart since all this stuff started going down, and I felt people probably just needed some encouragement.
Right.
So that's why I did it. Okay, so, well, looking back over nearly 40 years, what's kept you passionate about your work?
This comes back to something that somebody told me a long time ago, and I've heard it from a couple of people. One was my stepdad. That when you do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. So when you think about that and break it down, I have no problem getting up and coming to work.
Right.
I look forward to being here. I look forward to doing what needs to be done to give to the community what they expect to the best I can. Sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out what it is in a new area, which, that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half. I'm not there yet. I'm not completely happy with the way things are. Yeah. There's always room for improvement. If I get to the point where I tell myself, all right, this is the way it is, everything's good to go and nothing needs to change, then I have a problem.
That means you're complacent, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you ever get to the point that you think there's no room for improvement, then to me that's not the best attitude to have.
Maybe it's time to go sit down somewhere.
Well, take a break and figure out why.
Yeah.
So
do some windshield time, like you said earlier.
Yeah, windshield time.
Windshield time in the car, driving down the road, and just decompressing and thinking about what could be improved.
And a big part of it is just listening to the community.
Yeah.
I get a lot of phone calls. I get a lot of emails. I try very, very hard to return every call and every email every day before I go home.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes when I call back or whatever, that I have to leave a voicemail, but at least I've made the effort to acknowledge the contact.
Yeah.
So it may not be a resolution to your question, but at least I hope you know that I'm at least acknowledging that you've asked a question and brought something to my attention.
Well, I had no idea that you were going to be tasked with my call to the county judge yesterday, letting him know about ambulance times.
No,
I was concerned about the ambulance times that and it got pushed to you to do something about it.
Well, it was given to me. I was asked to oversee that process last year when the decision was made to look into whether the prior contractor was going to be continued with a new contract, because they were at the end of their last extension or coming up on, and I did not want to be in the position of having to knee-jerk react to having 30 days to decide to keep or change.
Right.
So that's why we started the process 6 months early.
Yeah.
That raised a lot of questions, and I'm glad it did, because they had been expressing concerns, and they expressed additional concerns about the prior one and the potential one. And then the current one, when they were at the top, they scored the highest with the committee that evaluated the proposals.
Yeah.
And yes, your phone call yesterday, Judge Knight, he and I talk on a regular basis, and it's just very open and honest, and I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
It's not an attack, it's just a reality. It's something that I monitor the calls on a daily basis. There are some issues that have been brought up to Acadian, who is our current provider. They admit that there is room for improvement. They have not completely delivered to me the information that I have asked for, and part of it is because they did change after about a month of being here. They've changed the program, and they're still working out some of the kinks.
Yeah.
But that we're at the point we need to do something.
Yeah.
So we have a sit down face to face next week with their top brass and myself, and if I'll see if there's somebody else that feels they want or need to be here, then they're more than welcome to come from the county government above me. But yes, I was asked to oversee the contract, and as part of that, I'm trying to do the best I can to give the citizens what they need. But we can get into that a little bit at some point to talk about the way it's operating in Liberty County.
Yeah, yeah, and my concern was just I didn't want anybody having to wait 30 minutes.
I don't either.
No, for ambulance.
The national standard is about 18-19 minutes in this type in this setting.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider that you'll never have enough ambulances on the street unless you want to pay an exorbitant amount of money for your taxes to be able to fund one to be sitting on every street corner.
Right. You do have to rely a lot on, I guess, your first responders typically are your firefighters.
Right, but most of those are not EMTs.
No.
They're basic first aid. There are EMTs and paramedics that volunteer, which is great.
Yeah.
But there are several of the volunteer fire departments that are working on getting their FRO status, the first responder organization status, to help enhance that.
Right.
But there are a couple of other programs that are being worked out to get them in place for Liberty County. Here 4 or 6 weeks ago in Commissioner's Court, I did ask for permission to apply for a state grant.
And what will it provide?
The idea is
if we're approved.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have a very high chance of it. Right now, I am on hold with the state, waiting for them to, it's federal money, for rural communities, which is Liberty County, to enhance and add more availability to medical care and help.
Okay, and so where would the focus be?
The focus that I have, and this is not final, but the idea is that it probably will be with Acadian, and they already have it elsewhere, but this would fund additional vehicles on the street but not necessarily ambulances.
Maybe supervisor vehicles?
No.
No?
No, be paramedics.
Okay.
But it would also be with nice iPads and connectivity to where you can have teledoc brought to your house.
Oh, yeah, that comes in handy.
They would have a
tap
doctor
into the
at any
Herman Hospital or something.
whoever, and it would pay for the doctor's time.
Yeah.
It would pay for the equipment, pay for the paramedic, the EMT, it could be a registered nurse. Right now, we have, looking at the data that I have, piecing it all together, just from Acadian, we are running about 30 to 32% of the calls that the ambulances go to. They're not transporting the patient.
They refuse.
Well, they refuse, or they just needed some reassurance, or they needed help, lift assist. They needed help with figuring out their CPAP machine.
Do they get paid for those calls when they go out like that?
No, that's why the county subsidizes them. So if we can take some of those calls that don't need a 911 ambulance off of those calls, but yet still get the caller, the help and the assistance that they need, that doesn't take the 911 ambulance, then that will help drastically reduce response times.
And they could be in a pickup truck.
Well, they could be in a Ford Maverick, yes, like my inspector is.
Yeah.
It's very fuel efficient, and and once they get there, if
they need
an ambulance, then they will we'll still have a paramedic there on site to initiate patient contact and care. And then they can realize, okay, you do need to go to the hospital. Yeah. Then they can say, send me an ambulance over here to transport.
Or start arranging an airlift or something.
Whatever the situation is to take it further. Yeah. So that's the idea behind the program, that the federal government gave the money to the state. Based on our size and call volume and stuff, we could get anywhere from $1 to $1.5 million to pay for this a year.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be a lot.
That would provide several, I guess.
Well, I can't give a number. I mean, theoretically, 6, 7 vehicles, but you also got to consider the initial investment and upkeep of the vehicles. Yeah. Plus
pay all the benefits and everything else. Yeah.
So, I mean, if it puts 6 or 7,
that's huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I hope we get it. But then we have to be able to sustain it the next year, right?
No, it's a 5-year program.
Okay.
So for the next 5 years,
we would have
that money's
for 5
guaranteed.
Years. Okay.
Once we get in there, and we can, and then it's up to me, with the help of Acadian and others, to show that it's a very positive effect for the citizens.
So maybe we could reapply and get it again.
Well, then it'll just automatically renew as long as we meet the criteria and we did what we said we're going to do, and we can show the benefit, which would not be hard to do, just keeping track of it. Yeah,
Liberty County. I mean, I live in Moss Hill, and getting to Cleveland takes 25 minutes, but it can take me another 40 minutes to get to parts of Colony Ridge, just because of the density of population and all the streets and all the turns you have to make. I mean, this is a big county.
Well, from my office last night when I left, they put out a call for a structure fire in Colony Ridge. Yeah. And it was right at basically 99 in Miller Wilson. Yeah. So I put it in the map.
Did you take Grand Parkway?
An hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because of Dayton. Because of the construction. It took me longer to get from my office to 1960 through Dayton because of construction, and something must have been going on. It took longer to get there than it did to get up closer to Miller Wilson, and it turned out that it was a grass fire, not a house fire. Oh. But that comes back to when you call 911. Yeah. Please be very clear of what it is you're reporting.
Yeah. So the response is accurate.
Correct. If it is a house fire, then we'll get the folks en route. Right. If it is a grass fire, then we notice in the booster truck, because the pumper,
they work differently.
Truck can't go off the field, of the field most times. Right. So.
And you'll still be sitting there waiting on a booster truck if you.
Correct. Now they can get out there with a broom, or maybe get somewhat.
But if it's a big
the most
fire,
appropriate may not have been the big red fire truck. As the initial response.
And sometimes dozers are needed.
Correct.
So because when it hits the brush. Okay, so I was we got sidetracked, didn't we?
Rabbit hole.
So many things to talk about. I have a list of questions, and so I've gotten off of them, but it's been very interesting.
Well, let's go through what you have, and if we need to do this again in a couple of weeks, we can.
Okay. What has surprised you most about Liberty County?
Just how big it is, and the travel time it takes just to go from one end to the other in some cases, in Liberty, you heard the train.
Yeah.
There's several. You have to time your trips, if possible, to avoid that 5 to 10 minute delay while the train's coming through town.
And it's only a 5 to 10 minute delay in Liberty, but over in
lucky.
Dayton, you may be sitting there a while for that candy cane train turn.
Well, that's if you go that way.
If you go that way, you can still go down.
You still go under the railroad tracks
and get on the Grand Parkway if you need to get across. But then you
you're right.
pay a toll.
But still, just sometimes from my office to get to a fire in Colony Ridge, even if
Hour
it's
and
an
30
emergency,
minutes,
it could be an hour with lights and sirens because of the distance.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you that if I knew where to be 10 minutes before something happened, I wouldn't be doing this. You just can't always.
You need a helicopter.
You put it on the court agenda. I'm not.
Yeah, that's not going to get approved. Who's going to fly that thing?
But no,
just get you one of those little human drone things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gyrocopter or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, sometimes it was interesting, even though when I first found out that I was appointed, given the opportunity, I spent a lot of time that couple of weeks because I didn't come over for about 3 weeks to hit a pay period, and of course to give the 2 weeks notice. But I spent a lot of time just looking at the maps and the roads and the areas and Google Maps and Google Earth.
Did it surprise you?
Not really.
Okay.
But the biggest surprise is if you want to go east and west in Liberty County, you've got two options.
Well, you have.
You got Highway 90.
Well, you can. There's 787.
Okay, but you have to go to 105 to get to that.
Yeah, you gotta go 105. But there's only 3 ways to get across the Trinity River.
Well, when I got hired, there was 2. The bridge was out.
Oh, that's right. The bridge was out at 77.
So I had to plan everything around 2 routes, 105 and Highway 90 to get across the river.
That was brutal for the people who lived there.
I can only imagine.
So glad they got that fixed. But now they're talking about getting a new bridge in the future because that one's going to eventually wash out again.
Yeah, but that was just some of the things trying to pre-plan a little bit, and that's the emergency management side of what I've done in the past, just trying to figure out how do I get there and trying to learn and recognize and acknowledge the different communities in Liberty County. I mean, I still get a little confused. You say Romare, and my mind may click to Raywood.
Oh.
So.
What about Moss Hill and Moss Bluff?
Well, yeah.
Do you know where Moss Hill is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've spent several days up there at the radio tower.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd went. Everybody always goes, oh, that's where Simply Country is.
Well, and I had to learn that. Some of the favorite spots to eat.
Yeah, it seems like everybody goes to Simply Country.
In my mind, Moss Hill's at the top and Moss Bluff's at the bottom.
Oh, that's true. So we live on a hill, a little bit of a hill.
The county's gorgeous. I mean, it's just, I can't tell you how good it feels to be able to get away from the computer and see cows.
Yeah. Oh, you can see buffalo on Moss Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bill Wingfield has some buffalo right there close to the intersection of Moss Hill.
So being able to get out of the big city of Liberty or Dayton and just go have a little windshield time to think about a couple of things.
Yeah, it's good.
But I wasn't really surprised. Because I tried to plan ahead a little bit.
Well, a lot of people hear fire marshal and they think, oh, he just oversees fire. And we've talked about ambulance service already. But can you explain to people what else falls under your supervision, whether you like it or not?
Well, okay. Yeah, there are certain aspects of the job that just aren't my favorite part, but it is part of the responsibility. But when we talked about EMS, and that was something that I was asked to step in and get involved in. I have since been given responsibilities for all the county radios for law enforcement and fire departments in Liberty County and the radio system. So now I'm the contact for Liberty County with HGAC and Harris County Universal Services, whatever they're called this week. I always knew them as the radio shop, and I was working for Harris County. Yeah. But getting that cleaned up was the biggest part of that because
everything was outdated, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Didn't they have radios that just weren't in use?
Well, they did, and that was the first thing I had to do is get with my contact down there. It was like, just tell me what radios you think we have. Yeah. And he sent me a spreadsheet with over 1,400 radios.
And you're like, why are these not being used? And some of them were being used, I guess.
A few of them were, yes, but some of them were so outdated and end of life they didn't even work on the system. And not to mention, nobody knew where they were.
And you don't want to have a firefighter or a law enforcement officer get stranded somewhere without good reception or a good radio.
But the other side of that was going through, and it took several months talking to the different department heads of each constable's office, the sheriff's department, the county attorney, the district attorney, the fire departments, Dayton Police, Liberty Police, Cleveland. All those radios they use may not necessarily belong to the county, but they're on our system and have access. So getting it narrowed down to just basically asking them, what radios are you using? That's all I care. I'm not looking for numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to restrict anything. I just need to know which radios are still out there being used so I can get the other ones off the system to clean it up.
Right.
So we dropped about 800 radios that they were end of life. They wouldn't even work on the system, but nobody ever turned them off.
What do you do with stuff like that? It's just salvage.
Well, I don't have them.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where they're at.
Oh, you don't know where they just disappeared.
That's the problem. So
they probably were broken or busted.
They were replaced with all these new radios that the county got a few years back under a grant. So and now we have it down with the help of my three in here. We've had several.
Is it on the 800 system?
700, 800 system, and VHF still, and some of the radios are dual band, some are single band.
I think fire department's still on. Some of them are still on VHF, right?
Correct. But they also have the 800 radios where they can talk through the 800 system into dispatch.
They need to be able to talk to,
Right.
They have to be able to.
I can now tell you where every radio is in the county. I know what deputy has what handheld radio, what car he's driving with what mobile radio, which fire truck. We've got them all reprogrammed with their actual unit numbers in the radios.
Yeah.
So we can get that turned on at dispatch when they key up. It tells them who it is.
It also makes them accountable for turning it in if they leave to go somewhere else.
Well, exactly. And there is a checks and balances now. We know where these $3 million worth of radios
expensive.
are.
They're so expensive.
They are.
I mean, I think a handheld can be $1,500, right?
No. The handheld is about $6,000-7,000.
Oh, gee. I'm talking about the cheap one that you don't talk on. Just the one you listen on.
That's a
scanner.
That's not a radio.
Sorry, it's not a radio.
But no, these handheld radios are about $7,000.
Oof.
The mobile units in the cars can be $10,000, $11,000 each.
Oh, that's so much money.
Right.
That's so much money. Okay. Can you explain so we talked about the radios. Is there anything else that falls under your supervision?
All the inspections for fire codes in the county.
I knew he had forgotten that part, so I was making sure. Making sure we got back to it.
We're going to get to it. So my job starts with the permit office, working with them.
Yeah.
Commercial development permits, building permits, and then based on what kind of building they're building, what it's going to be used for, fire sprinklers, fire alarms, the kitchen Ansel systems over the cooking equipment, ERC system, the emergency responder radio system, so that when the deputy goes into a building, that his radio will work and get out. Do you do sanitary checks of restaurants? Because we don't have a health department like some places have. If I see something that I
you can give them a violation or something, or
I can advise them they need to clean it up before they go forward.
Okay.
But if they're not cleaning the restaurant, then they're not maintaining other stuff.
Right.
So
there's other red flags usually.
Correct. It's a culture of how they run that business.
Yeah.
So there's other issues that can be addressed that may end up getting them to shut down until they get it corrected.
Yeah.
Now there is I can call the state health department and get some support from them.
Don't we need our own health department person out here?
I haven't gotten that far into that topic yet. Right now,
because we have all these food trucks popping up everywhere.
Well, that's something that just changed on July 1st. So I'm having to reevaluate.
What changed? I guess I wasn't aware of this.
There was a new law that was passed in Texas that counties, cities, municipalities can no longer require a local food permit for a food truck.
No longer?
No longer, because the state is now issuing a statewide.
Oh, so the state's getting the money instead of the county? Is that?
Well, I haven't looked that far into it.
Oh, okay.
There is a state permit that is good in every county and every city in the state now for a food truck.
Okay.
The state, it is in there that they can contract with local municipalities or government agencies to do the inspections, and I'm sure there's going to be some compensation shared. But
we don't know if
I
everybody's
don't
gone
know
through the
that
state
yet.
permitting, though.
Well, on the events that we go to, if they don't have their state permit as of July 1st, they're being told to shut down and go home.
But what about the roadside ones where they're selling stuff?
Well, are they cooking it or are they just selling vegetables? See, that's
well, let's just say, people love their tamale vendors, but is that considered
they're not cooking.
They're not cooking. They're just
So
selling it.
that's the gray area. You have to be able to.
I don't buy things from other people's kitchens usually.
Well, they're
except for my daughter. I get her bread.
Some of the best meals I've had out in the middle of nowhere have been off
Yeah.
of a food truck.
Yeah, I have this fear of food poisoning, so I don't eat.
Well, I'm
very careful.
I've heard of people getting food poisoning more from
great restaurants,
from brick and mortar than from a food truck.
Yeah, that's true. So, what is there other things that fall under your? Before I move on to the next question.
I am the county liaison with the volunteer fire departments.
Okay.
So working with them and dealing with them and.
How many fire departments do we have in Liberty County?
13.
13.
There's 14, but one hasn't responded since November of 24.
That would be Highway 321.
Okay.
I think they sold all their equipment, so.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, they're no longer functional.
Well, but they're still an active 501c3 charity, which allows them to raise funds and claim to be a fire department because there's no requirement to provide the service.
They need to probably dissolve that so that, but that's just,
That's another topic.
That's another topic.
Yeah.
Anything else that falls under your office?
Anything for the betterment of the county.
Okay.
As the judge sees fit.
And during a disaster or something like that, then you're on 24/7.
I can be here 24/7 to assist AJ over in emergency management. Each of the 4 commissioners, the judge, the fire departments. I'm not here to run their show. I'm here to just
assist
and support. And there are things that I can do and get for them that take that responsibility off of them. And AJ can ask me to go do something to help him out, and I'm here to do it. Just like he's here, like the big recycling fire. He's here to back me up.
I remember that. That was a big fire. Mm-hmm. The one in Dayton.
Correct.
Readers may remember that one. It was a huge fire. And
burned for about 38 hours.
Yeah, and it was metal burning, and I had never heard of it.
It wasn't the metal burning.
It was batteries?
Well, it was all the uncleaned, unprocessed metal products, refrigerators, ovens, stoves, washers, dryers, microwave ovens, metal cans from paint shops that still had residue in them. It was all the accessory material attached to the metal products. The rubber gaskets.
That was the stuff that went up. Yeah, and rubber will burn and burn.
Correct.
Ugly.
And the problem with that fire was nobody had processed it. They were just bringing stuff in and dumping it in preparation for recycling.
So have changes been made since then?
I can't answer that. That's in the city of
Dayton.
Dayton.
In the city, so you don't. Yeah.
I don't have any authority
in the cities
within the municipalities unless they sign an interlocal agreement with my office saying
they have their own fire marshals.
They have their own fire marshal authority, having jurisdiction responsibilities.
All 3 of the major cities have their own fire marshal.
The city of Cleveland does. Sean Anderson, he's doing great up there.
He's great.
Brian Hurst in Liberty.
He has one.
And he has a couple of folks under him in the fire marshal duties.
Yeah.
And they have the city of Liberty.
Dayton has a volunteer fire department, though. How does theirs work?
Dayton has a third party company that they use for all their fire inspections, building inspections, and the such.
Okay.
And since they have that company is their AHJ, authority having jurisdiction, to handle their issues.
Yeah.
So I was there at the recycling fire to support the volunteer fire department, which falls under my...
Not to help with the fire marshal
to do
duties.
anything with... Exactly.
Because they did their own,
So...
Okay.
Now I have offered up to the city of Dayton... and
to help them in any way.
They're still reviewing the interlocal agreement to decide how they want to proceed.
Just means more responsibilities for you, though.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So, have there been any changes in the way inspections or investigations are conducted since you took over?
They're being done on writing.
Yeah.
They're being documented under the address in the permit office. We're using the same software that the permits office is using, so everything is in one spot.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in, or countywide, or even when we have to do an open records request.
Yeah.
We can put in the address, and everything done at that address that we know about is under that address.
Yeah, so you can
whether
find it easy.
From permits or from the fire marshal's office.
Okay.
And the folks are given an actual written result of their inspection. Their plans are being reviewed under the correct fire code. They are able to call and ask questions and get supported answers from the fire code with the site if there's something they have to do.
Okay.
So,
are there new programs and procedures that residents may not know about?
there are procedures that should have been in place that are actually being utilized now. Any building or structure that is built or brought into the Liberty County is supposed to be permitted and have a fire code review.
Any? Including a house?
Including houses.
Okay.
Now, there are some exceptions,
Yeah.
but basically any building or structure should go through a permitting process. The state fire code, which we follow in FPA 1 and 101, actually requires one and two family dwellings to have a fire sprinkler system in them now. And that's
Really?
that's the next step, is how to implement that.
Oof.
Now, I understand there's caveats to that. It's a great thing. They're not that expensive because it's not the same sprinkler system requirement as you would in a warehouse.
Yeah.
It can be done under an NFPA 13R or NFPA 13D, which is residential or domestic sprinklers, where they can use the existing water line coming into the house and just tap off of that without having to have a separate water source.
Yeah.
So it is an added benefit to your house. Your insurance rates will go down and help offset the cost of the installation over a couple of years. And you may only be talking $2,500 to $3,500 to do that for an entire house based on the size.
But that water does damage too.
It does, but sometimes it's easier to be able to repaint a wall than it is to rebuild it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
And the water won't kill a life. It'll save a life.
It'll give you more time to get out of the house.
Yes, that's right. Okay. As Liberty County continues to grow, how has the growth changed your priorities? Has it changed your priorities?
I don't think
You've been here throughout the whole growth process. You haven't been here before that.
Actually, we've gone through a phase where last year there was a reduction in the northwest corner.
Yeah.
And it's kind of leveled off a little bit.
Yeah, which is good. It gives everybody a chance to kind of like.
We're growing since I came in. I was one man till November when I hired Michaela as the coordinator for the office, and then Hannah Cooper came over from the permits office, and she was so driven for the job, she went and got her fire inspector on her own time, on her own dime, before she asked to come over. So she has helped out a lot and is running out doing a lot of inspections.
Yeah.
We're not just going out on new construction at the end.
Right.
We'll go out in the middle of it just to check up and say, hey, how's it going? Point out stuff that, hey, that's going to be a problem if you don't fix that when we get to the end. And I don't want to delay them to have to go back and try to fix it. And then in February, I believe it is, Chris came over as an investigator from the Sheriff's Department IT office.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a fire investigator that is on staff. So I'm full with the 4 slots that I was given.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It helps a lot. It's nice to be able to delegate, instead of just from me to myself.
Yeah. Here, Nathan, you take this. No,
Exactly.
you take it, Nathan.
So
yeah.
But the change is the inspections are going up.
Yeah.
But people are asking a lot more questions because they're not afraid of us. When I first got here, there was a lot of
Mistrust.
Exactly, because of the way they had been treated in the past. Once they realized I wasn't there to do anything other than help, then word spread a little bit, and then it spread quick, and then especially up in the Colony Ridge. That was, people would run out the back door when they saw me pull up, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And it's not because they were doing anything wrong.
They just were trying to avoid the
not to say confrontation, but the conversation.
Conversation, yeah. So when firefighters leave the scene of a fire, your work is just beginning. Can you walk me through the process of that? Well,
when the firefighters get to a fire,
you come to the fires though when you know that there's a big fire that you need. I mean, you go to a lot of the fires.
I don't go to every fire.
No, but you go to the house fires when there's like serious.
I will head that
situations.
way when I see it. I would just head that way. I may not even go on the radio, but I'll start driving that way to reduce the time they have to wait for me to get there. If it's a house fire or a vehicle fire or whatever, until I see something that convinces me I don't need to be there.
Yeah, I saw you at the fatal house fire in Dayton. At Westlake. You didn't have time to talk to me that night.
And I apologize for that. But
Oh,
sometimes
it's fine. I understand.
There was just so many moving parts that night that I wasn't trying to avoid anybody.
There was a person who had died, and that was way more important than anything I needed to ask.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But if they call me out there, it's because they're either known to be incendiary, somebody did it on purpose, or they just don't know.
Yeah.
So that's when we go in there and we'll just start from the outside and work our way in and get to the root of the cause of the fire. Sometimes it is...
and that fire, it led to murder charges against one of the people that lived in that house.
Okay, yeah.
So...
but we figure out where it started and then how it started and why. Sometimes it is a matter of talking to the residents that are there or live there and confirming or denying what they want me to believe.
Yeah.
I try very hard, I make it a point to not talk to the owners until I've at least walked through the house.
So you can make your judgments on your own.
I don't want to go in with any preconceived notions they've tried to plant in my head.
No, I understand that. People say, did you see an article that somebody put out on something? I'm like, I try not to read other people's stuff before I do my own.
Right.
Because I don't want it to influence the way that I do something.
So then that way I can ask questions when I come back out to talk to them. It's like, that's not what I saw.
Right.
And then that can start that conversation. Yeah. But then, you go in there and you dig it out and you find out, what's there that shouldn't be, what's not there that should, and all those kind of questions. Just every fire is treated as an arson if I get called out to it.
Initially.
Every fire has to be treated at the top level
because you ask
work it down.
Questions.
I can't go in and treat it as an accident and mess up evidence and then claim that it was done on purpose.
Right.
I can't go that direction as easy.
Yeah.
But I can start up here and document everything and work my way down to prove that it was an accident.
Okay.
A lot easier and a lot more legal if something does come later.
What's the most common cause of residential fire in Liberty County?
Bad electrical.
Really?
Homemade DIY, do-it-yourself electrical installations.
Ooh. Okay, well, I install my own breakers at my house when they go out. Is that...
Well, that's not necessarily the same as running the main power line on the ground through the grass.
But I install breakers when they go out at my house because I'm kind of a DIYer.
Maintaining stuff like that, if you're confident in doing it, you follow the instructions.
I got a main shutoff.
Well,
if I didn't have a main shutoff, I wouldn't do it.
No, but I'm talking about the wrong type of wire.
Yes.
Underrated
or overloading
wire,
something.
all the extension cords. I mean, folks, there are those that think it's just easier to run an extension cord as permanent wiring. And
it's
one,
not made
it's not
for that.
safe. It's not made for long-term use like that.
And then if it has outside exposure, then the plastic,
and it's actually
falls apart.
A violation of the fire code.
Yeah.
So extension cords are not meant to be used for permanent wiring.
No.
They shouldn't run through ceilings. They shouldn't run through doorways.
People actually run them through ceilings and through doorways?
In businesses, they run them through the little ceiling tiles to power the open sign because they forgot to put a plug in.
Oh.
And then you don't even know about the rat's nest that's up above the ceiling until you crawl up in there. So...
and you're eating there sometimes, yeah.
But just one of the biggest problems is the manner and methods of the wiring for the electricity.
Yeah. What's the biggest mistakes homeowners make when it comes to fire safety? Besides that, besides extension cords,
they don't have a fire extinguisher. They don't have a smoke detector.
Yeah. Carbon monoxide detector, maybe?
Carbon monoxide, if you're comfortable and you feel the need, then go for it. Most smoke detectors nowadays are dual use. They will do both.
So just get a dual use one.
That's fine.
If you have gas in your house.
Well, if you do or you don't.
Yeah.
If you feel that you want it in your house, by all means go get it. The newer homes are being wrapped a little tighter.
Right.
The carbon monoxide problem started primarily up in the north in the colder areas where they had a lot of oil furnaces. And they're wrapped so tight
that it holds
they
all
don't
the fumes
ventilate.
in. Yeah.
So that's where it started, and it just became a nationwide thing that you need to do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it.
But at least
not
have
a
a fire.
bad idea.
At least have a fire.
No, before you have a fire extinguisher, get a smoke detector. I would rather you get out and lose everything than stay inside after it's too late and you're trapped and you're trying to fight your way out with a fire extinguisher.
And there's different kinds of fire extinguishers.
There are.
There's some that are not made for like oil or water or.
Correct.
There's a kitchen fire extinguisher, and then there's other kinds.
If you get a basic ABC fire extinguisher, that should take care of just about anything that you need in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to be doing a lot of deep frying, then you probably need to look into a Class K, which is made for that kind of thing.
Do people still do a lot of deep frying?
Who in Liberty County has not seen or heard of somebody that deep fries a turkey for Thanksgiving?
Oh, well, I order mine from the fire department because I don't do it. It's less work.
Oh, no, I understand, but there is deep frying going on. There's a lot of fried food out here.
Yeah.
During Lent, I think the churches are serving fried fish.
I don't like fried food.
Well, but there's a lot of it out there, and if you're going to do it in any quantity, it doesn't hurt to spend the money to get a K class just in case.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody should have, if there was one thing that everybody got for their house, and this is really tough, but I guess the most important thing would be a smoke detector so that you can get out and cry on my shoulder that you lost everything.
Because you'll be alive.
Yes, because I would rather deal with you crying on my shoulder that you don't have a place to stay because we'll get you some help.
Than pulling your body out.
And have to recover you.
Yeah.
The second thing that I would like everybody in Liberty County to do, and I challenge them, put your address on the street.
Oh.
Put your numbers out there. Okay? Put 4 to 6 inch numbers out there on the street on your mailbox, on the fence post, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I listen to the radio, and even the deputies that have been here for 10 years get dispatched to a call.
Right.
You're saying my address is 1331.
And they're like,
whatever.
I don't know where it is.
There's no numbers on the street. I don't know how you get your mail.
Yeah.
Other than the fact the mailman knows that street better. But it's not just the deputies. In a more serious situation, the ambulance can't find you.
Right.
Okay, and they don't work the same areas necessarily every day all the time, and we don't have the same person every day.
And you may not be able to go meet them at the highway and bring them back to your house.
Exactly. So
we got a private road number put up on our driveway because we have 3 houses or multiple houses connected to it. So we put the private road up at the front, but
you're looking at $1 a number, and if you know what, I'd be happy if you went out there with a can of old paint
and just threw it on there, on a stick, on a board.
Nail a board up there and hand paint it on there.
Just get it up there.
And you don't have to put the street number or the street name.
Yeah.
But just they call it the box number, your address, 1331. That's all that they need to see, so they have something to be able to reference what driveway to go down when you call for help.
Yeah.
And if you don't want the ambulance to find you, the police, how is Domino's finding you?
Or Walmart delivery.
So that's the biggest challenge after the smoke detectors. Just put the numbers for your house out there on the street.
Yeah. Got to have Amazon Prime make it to your house, too.
Well, they can't get it with the numbers out there anyway.
No, they deliver it to someone else's house.
Exactly. Anyway.
Is there anything else that you would like Liberty County residents to know that I didn't cover in my questions?
I guess one thing that is, and I'm saying issue, is a reality is ambulances are being called for when somebody simply has a headache or is sick.
It's wasteful. It
I
is.
gotta
I'll
be very
say
careful
it.
here.
No, I'll say it's wasteful to call an ambulance when you're having a headache.
Well, it could be something worse. But
It
that's
could
why,
be.
And back to the rural community health care, getting more people on the street, not necessarily ambulances.
Yeah.
But when I look at these call slips and somebody calls in and says, "Man, I got drunk last night and I just threw up. I need an ambulance."
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? I don't.
Sometimes they use them to get pushed to the front of the line at emergency rooms.
They do, and that is something that we have a program that is being finalized to help with that, to shorten the wait times for the ambulances at the hospital.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be for the people just to bypass the people having serious medical complications.
No, I agree with that, but at the same time, it still takes that ambulance out of service for an hour and a half to 2 hours to travel.
Yeah, and we've had to call the ambulance a couple times with my mother in the last year and a half, but it was all heart related. It's important
That's a different
stuff.
story. But when you simply wake up and you have the flu and you threw up and
Yeah, give it some time, maybe.
Well, and it may be that you'll get somebody there to assist you, but it won't necessarily be a 911 ambulance. It may be one of the other ambulances. That's something we're working toward.
I hope you can get that worked out. That grant sounds fantastic.
Well, I'm even talking now before the grant, but here's the thing. Be prepared to get a bill.
Yeah.
Okay? They're here to help you.
But they're not free.
It's not a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're not necessarily for profit, but they still have the cost of doing business to cover the salaries and the benefits and the fuel and the equipment.
Yeah.
So
medical supplies are not cheap.
You get a nominal bill for coming out to help you because you woke up with a hangover and threw up and it's the first time in your life.
Never had a hangover, thankfully.
Well, but then there's some other issues that don't necessarily require a 911 ambulance, but I'm not saying they won't get some sort of medical attention.
Yeah.
If you want it to come to you, the ambulances are not there to replace the ER.
Right.
They're there to transport the folks that need further medical attention to a enhanced treatment center. But they're not mobile home health care for free.
No, they're not. No.
And that sometimes I think that is how some folks may actually view it.
Yeah. So, his scanner just went off.
That's maintenance. I don't know if we have power. We've lost power every Thursday for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, they're working on the grid or something.
Well, no, it's just one line coming in because the building sat vacant for so long. The trees grew up into it.
Oh, they're having to clean it out. Yeah. So we end these interviews with fun rapid fire questions, and I'm going to ask you some fun ones. Favorite Texas town besides Liberty? Anything in Liberty County? Besides anything in Liberty County?
Besides anything in Liberty County?
Yeah, your favorite town that you like to go to?
It was Salmon, Texas.
Salmon?
Salmon.
Like salmon. Okay. All right.
I had a farm there.
Favorite firehouse meal?
Chili.
Chili. Okay. Favorite TV show?
Right now, The Ranch.
Oh, you like that one? Yeah, that's the one that's the Dutton continuation.
No, that's Dutton Ranch.
Oh, okay.
No, the ranch is on Netflix. Sam Elliott. Alicia
I love
Cuthbert,
Sam Elliott.
Deborah Winger.
Oh.
Ashton Kutcher is the executive producer.
Some old school ones.
Everybody on there is somebody that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's 8 seasons or 8 series, 10 episodes per series, 80 shows.
Is that the train coming again?
No, it's my phone. He's texting me now. Why won't you answer?
Oh. So the best advice you've ever received?
Find a job you love so you never work a day in your life.
That is a good one. Yeah. What's one item you never leave home without?
My wristband here in memory of my son.
Oh. Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Well, no, it's God's plan, and I don't understand it, didn't like it, but,
You'll see him again.
I'll understand someday, and at that point that it's explained to me, then it really doesn't matter.
Right. If you could have a dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be?
I never got time with my grandfather. He passed away when I was about 4, I think. So I have a couple of pictures. That would be a fun one. That could be a fun one just to understand, because I have a lot of his tools, and my uncles have actually got them out this past week and got them, and put in place in my new garage. Yeah. But I found a letter in there from 1984, 85, when my uncle sent them to me, that apparently my grandfather was a big into carpentry and woodworking and furniture making, and it skipped a generation, and now I do it.
Oh.
So I have his tools that I can do it with, and so I'd really love to have that opportunity to have a dinner
with your grandpa,
with my dad's father.
Oh, your paternal.
I did spend time with my mother's father died when I was in junior high, I think.
Yeah, but you got to know him.
He was in roofing and construction too, so I got to spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
So.
Sound like you're kind of a sentimental guy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I've heard.
Describe yourself in 3 words. 3 words.
That's not a rapid fire question.
It is a rapid fire.
I don't know, dedicated, passionate, and can I say anal sometimes?
That's okay. It's your description of yourself.
Yeah, I've been referred to by previous supervisors in Harris County as a Rottweiler. They throw me a bone and I don't let it go till it's done.
Hidden talent.
Woodworking.
Woodworking.
And locksmithing.
Okay. What's one thing that always makes you laugh? Grandkids,
People.
maybe? People. Yeah.
You have to find the humor in everything. It's like...
Yeah.
And I've even told folks sometimes, I know it hurts their feelings, but it's like, you realize you said that out loud.
Finish this sentence. This is the last one.
Okay.
Liberty County is...
Full of potential.
That's a good one.
Full of history and just potential.
And just full of it.
I didn't say that. But there's so much...
I'm a lifelong resident, so I can say that.
There's so much potential for positive growth.
I agree.
It's just a matter of channeling it in the right direction and stay out of the rabbit holes.
Need to stay on the west side of the Trinity.
Okay.
Yeah, stay on the west side.
I enjoy the east side too.
I enjoy the east side. I just want to keep it like the way it is.
Well, that's one of
we don't want to lose the rural feeling.
I agree. That's one of the hurdles. It
is. Well, Nathan, thank you for taking time to join me today and giving me a better look at the important work that you do at the Fire Marshal's office. A lot of people don't understand everything that goes into it. And I'm glad you remembered that I was the first person that told you got the job. I forgot about that. I appreciate your years of service, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Headlines and Heartlines. Be sure to follow the podcast on YouTube. It's under Bluebonnet News Headlines and Heartlines, and keep following Bluebonnet News for more important stories of our community. Until next time.